And it's time for another basic beer review. A basic lager review this time. In fact, it is a posh crafty lager. It's one from the Rivington Brew Co. It's a can of their Separate Ways. And it says crossover blendery. So I don't know if that means it's a collaboration with another brewery or what, but I don't know. Well, does it say? Yep, a lager brewed with our mates at Crossover Blendery, made using English Chevalier malt and Opus hops. So very interesting. Okay, so yeah, so I'm always quite vocal on my crafty lagers and saying, well, you know, they're crafty. Sometimes they taste quite nice. Sometimes they're really not what I like. They're just like overly bitter and a little bit weird. But I always say you can't beat a good old Pilsner or a Helles or a nice malty Spanish lager. But again, these kind of lagers, they tend to be quite different and they have their own place. And a really good crafty lager is really nice indeed. So it'll be interesting to see what this one is like. I didn't get this from the brewery. I got it from... I think I've mentioned this already, a place in Astley Park in Chorley, a little shop there which does, say, coffee and wine and beers and stuff. And they have Rivington beers in there, and this was £4.50, so which seemed pretty decent price for a nice crafty lager from a local brewery. So there we go, Rivington. Separate Ways, not much else to say. It's a 500ml can as well, so you are getting that a little bit extra than you do for normal ones. Let's crack it open. Got me old Lowenbrow glass, why not? And let's get it poured. So already it's pouring quite dark. So that's interesting. That is not what I was expecting. I was expecting what I was expecting was a hazy kind of unfiltered kind of light colour, so I'm quite happy with that colour actually. I think it's going to be different enough to be interesting. So I've still got a bit left in the can, but I'd say that is more than enough there. It is hazy, which often you would get from these crafty ones. Decent head there, not the best pour in the world, I won't lie. Nice clean glass though. Lots of, I don't know if you can see all those bubbles rising to that. Lots of bubbles racing to the top there. Wow, okay, so there's not much I can do at the moment. There's no swilling room or anything there, just let that head dissipate a little bit. Do I need to talk any more about this? I mean, Rivington Brewery, if you haven't been down there, get yourself down there. It's the most picturesque tap room I've ever been in. It is great. They've got amazing beers there. They've got a big selection. When you go there, they also have some guest beers on as well. Nice fridges with the takeout there. What am I talking about? I've no idea. I'm just rabbiting. But yeah, I love it, the Rivington Brewery. Really, because it's close-ish to where I live. So it's, it's nearish by. So I can just bob down there and have a couple of drinks. But what can I say? You know, if there was any other decent breweries near where I lived, I'd probably be singing about them as well. So that head's gone down a little bit. So let's get a nose on it so if I can get near it. Oh, interesting. Interesting. What am I getting on the nose there? So malt. I'm getting a lot of malt. Getting a lot of malt, which is nice. They don't tend to be dead malty, these crafty lagers. But I think saying craft lager like it is a style is strange because it's clearly not a style. It's just lagers brewed by craft breweries, and they can brew any style they want to. Clearly, Rivington have tried to brew a kind of quite a malty lager. Well, not tried to brew, they have successfully brewed a malty lager. Oh, and I'm getting that smell, I'm getting that crafty smell that I get. Which is kind of like a lemon, but it's not the kind of lemon you just get from a pale lager. It's almost like a lemon sherbet. Yeah, something else. Trying to think what it is that it reminds me of something that kind of that crafty lemony smell, and I was getting that from some of the craftier ones in the Ultimate Supermarket Lager Championship. It's put me in mind of that, like the one, is it the Rudgate Pilsner that I keep mentioning? That was a very impressive one. I've got to get that again. I'm about to do a review of that one, of the Rudgate Pilsner. I will be putting this one on the tier chart as well. Yeah, so I'm getting malt. I'm getting lemon. Yeah, I mean, trying to think what else I'm getting from there. It's not getting a lot because of the size of the head. That head really is not going down. I was hoping that would dissipate a bit, but it is really retaining that head, which is a good thing. I think next time maybe not give it quite so big of a head. Yeah, just really malty, just malt and kind of lemon, almost lemon sherbety kind of smell. That's pretty much what I'm getting from that. I'm not going to smell it anymore. I'm going to dive right in, because it's all about the taste. I can't wait to taste this. So here we go. Cheers. Oh my, that is complex. Oh, that is complex. So, you're getting bitter lemon on the taste. Initially, hits your palate, bitter lemon. Not a massive fan of bitter lemon myself, but again, there's you know, it's what I think of the beer, how good I think the beer is, and then there's also my own personal tastes in a beer. It's waking my palate up with bitter lemon. There's some little toffee notes in the middle. Slightly nutty as well. Although having said that, I say bitter lemon, but I think it's just the lemon and the bitterness hit you at the same time. So rolling it around in the mouth there, I didn't get bitter lemon, I got lemon. Got a nice, just fresh lemon taste, not synthetic in the slightest. Just a nice little fresh lemony note. You roll it around in your mouth, you get a little bit of toffee in there as well. You've got a really solid whack of bitterness, almost like a West Coast bitterness, running around your palate there, which just kind of like, you get a kind of a bittersweet kind of thing going on there. The aftertaste is mainly the bitterness. I won't lie. I'll have another sip just to see if there's anything else coming in that aftertaste. A little bit confectionery, a little bit sherbety, but not in a bad way. Say a bit of nuttiness. Let's wait for an aftertaste. The aftertaste is slightly woody. You get a little bit of woodiness in the aftertaste. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Bit of woodiness, a little bit of brown bread. It is very complex for a lager, this is. It really is. It's very complex for a lager. I'm going to finish off the can, I think. Let's do a bit of a thingy, like a bit of a shake. Whack that in there. See what we're doing now. Oh, it's very lively. What on earth? I didn't expect it to do that, even though it's very, very lively indeed. Wonder if there's a reason for that. Maybe to do with the way it was brewed. I completely messed that up. Whoops. Okay. Well, I'll still taste a bit more, but yeah, that was not necessary at all. But yeah, really, really fluffy, foamy head there. Again, a little bit of orange, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of sherbet. Bit nutty, bit woody, West Coast bitterness. Very interesting. Very removed from like the kind of pale lagers that I've been reviewing in all the championships. It is bordering on a pale. This is, but it's 4.2% though. There's a lot of flavour there. If this was a 4.2% pale, I'd say decent flavour. It's got a bit of Hawksterness to it, but it's got that West Coast bitterness and a little bit of woodiness to finish. Teeny bit of nuttiness in the flavour. It's very drinkable. Very refreshing. Very smooth. Tear chart. It's not my cup of tea. I think it's very well brewed. It's very high quality. Not going to put it in tier 5. Although it's a solid to high tier 4. So there you go. So you'll be looking at the chart now. It's up there, tier 4 with the rest of them. I'm not going to put it in the hallowed tier 5 at the moment, but to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of crafty lagers, so for a crafty lager to get into tier 4 is quite an achievement. Something it's reminding me of, something that toffee kind of nuttiness is reminding me of. Again, it's kind of like a really nice kind of ale. Like the kind of, again, I keep talking about the Fuller's ESB. That was the first time I had a really good bitter stroke ale thing, and some of the flavours I'm getting in this is what I was getting in that the first time I tried it, and why I liked it so much. So those kind of beers are the kind of stronger, more flavourful bitters. But yeah, I mean, it's cracking. It's cracking. I'm really enjoying it. It's really nice. It's different from a lot of lagers. If you're getting it expecting just your, a standard pale lager, you're certainly not going to get that. It is bordering on a bitter in flavour, but just grab a can yourself and see what you think. I'm really impressed. So there we go. All done. Rivington, separate ways with crossover blendery. Grab yourself a can. See for yourself. Till next time, have a good one.